Dorit Kemsley told Erika Jayne to her face, behind the scenes, off camera, "You're going to lose your job if you don't get to work. That's not a friend checking in. That's not constructive criticism. That is a castmate threatening another castmate's livelihood." And this wasn't some rumor from a fan page. Teddi Mellencamp said it directly on 2 Ts in a Pod. And then on the actual show, Dorit doubled down during the Italy fight when she told Erika, "When I said you need to work and you need to contribute, I didn't mean you need to be a C word," so she acknowledged saying it on camera, and the implication is crystal clear. Dorit believes Erika isn't pulling her weight, isn't bringing enough drama, isn't earning her spot, and essentially should be on the chopping block. So let's talk about this because it's revealing a lot more about Dorit than it is about Erika. Let's get into it. First, let's actually break down what Teddi said because the full context matters. On 2 Ts in a Pod, Teddi explained that Dorit had previously told Erika she needed to step up on camera or she was going to lose her position on the show. And then, Teddi added that Dorit also implied Kyle is the person who gets people hired and fired, basically suggesting that Kyle runs the show behind the scenes and that Erika is protected because of her alliance with Kyle. Teddi's response to that was pretty simple. If Kyle had the power to get people hired and fired, Teddi would still be on the show. Which is a fair point. Teddi was Kyle's closest ally for years, and she still got let go. So if Kyle can't even save her own best friend, the idea that she's some puppet master pulling casting strings is a reach. But here's what's really going on underneath all of this. Dorit isn't just calling out Erika's work ethic on the show. She's positioning herself as the one who works harder, who brings more, who deserves to be there more. And that's a strategic move. Because if you can convince the audience and the producers that your castmate isn't contributing, you're essentially building a case for why you should stay and they should go. That's not friendship. That's self-preservation dressed up as concern. And the timing of all of this is interesting, because this get-to-work comment didn't happen in a vacuum. It happened during a season where Dorit has been feuding with basically everyone. She's fighting with Erika. She's fighting with Kyle. She called Sutton a weirdo. She stranded Kyle and Erika in Italy. She told Erika she was a C word. She refused to apologize to anyone at Rachel's party. And she accused Kyle of having the power to get anyone off the show during the reunion, which Kyle's jaw literally dropped at. So Dorit is simultaneously burning every bridge she has, while also trying to tell other people they're not doing enough. The math isn't mathing. And let's talk about what Erika's actually been doing this season, because the idea that she's not working is wild to me. Erika opened up about being in an abusive relationship, something separate from Tom Girardi. She broke down in therapy on camera. She revealed at the reunion that Tom was emotionally and financially abusive, that he didn't speak to her for 6 weeks while they lived in the same house, that she was terrified of saying the wrong thing while filming. She hard-launched her boyfriend John McPhee on the finale. She's staring down a $25 million civil fraud trial that starts May 19th, and she sat on that reunion couch and told Andy that if she loses, she can file for bankruptcy or fight it in court. That is vulnerability. That is content. That is someone giving everything they have to a show while their actual life is falling apart in real time. So for Dorit to suggest Erika needs to get to work is honestly insulting. Now, Dorit's side of this is that she believes the pressure to perform exists for all of them, and that if Erika's not engaging in the group dynamics, she's leaving the heavy lifting to everyone else. And look, that pressure is real. These women know that if they don't deliver storylines, they get demoted to friend of, or they get cut entirely. We've seen it happen to Teddi, to Denise, to Crystal, so the fear is real. But there's a difference between feeling that pressure internally and weaponizing it against someone else. And when you tell a woman who's navigating a $25 million lawsuit and processing domestic violence trauma that she needs to work harder for her paycheck, that crosses a line. And here's the part that really gets me. On top of all of this, Teddi also confirmed that Dorit knew about Erika's DV situation. She said it on the podcast. I for certain know that Dorit knows about that. So Dorit knew what Erika was going through. She knew about the abuse. She knew Erika was in a dark place. And she still told her she was going to lose her job if she didn't step it up. That's not a friend who's concerned about your career. That's someone who's using your vulnerability against you to make themselves look more essential. And what makes this even messier is that at the reunion, Dorit told Andy that Kyle has the power to get anyone off the show. Erika fired back. Kyle's jaw dropped. Sutton jumped in saying, "That's impossible." And the whole thing devolved into screaming. But the accusation itself tells you where Dorit's head is. She's not thinking about friendships or loyalty or reconciliation. She's thinking about job security, her own job security. And the easiest way to secure your spot is to make everyone else look expendable. So, does Dorit want Erika fired? I don't think she'd ever say those exact words. But telling someone they're going to lose their job, questioning their contribution, implying the show doesn't need them, that's functionally the same thing. And the irony is that Dorit is the one feuding with the entire cast, refusing to apologize, facing a home foreclosure that Kyle brought up at the reunion, and burning every relationship she has. So maybe the question isn't whether Erika is doing enough. Maybe the question is whether Dorit is doing too much of the wrong thing. Pop off in the comments, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you soon. Bye.